Resilient and inclusive teaching is the ability to facilitate learning experiences that are designed to be adaptable to fluctuating conditions and disruptions occasioned by major irreversible changes in higher education, global development, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Thus, these events have greatly changed the educational landscape and have moved classrooms to virtual and remote learning, necessitating also a paradigm shift in open distance and e-learning pedagogies. However, the University of Lagos has thereby brought together international and national audit practitioners to deliberate and proffer solutions for repositioning open distance education and e-learning for resilience and inclusiveness. The program had in attendance the Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundipe, and the Chief Host, Professor Uchenna Udeani, the host, Professor Parks Utomi, and the Chairman, and many others, just to mention but a few. Speaking as the Distant Learning Institute program, the host, Professor Uchenna, aired her view.
It made us know the gaps that we need to fill in terms of skilling both staff and students in terms of ICT infrastructure. We have gaps in ICT infrastructure, so we had worked up to that. We have been able to do a lot of trainings for staff, a lot of training for students, and we have, with the help of the Vice Chancellor, he has been so much helpful. We have been able to increase the bandwidth of the university, and we have made Wi-Fi available in some spots. So we are really trying to keep at pace with what is globally competitive and what is globally acceptable.
In finding solutions to distant learning in the country, panelists, however, gave their words of advice.
Education. The SDG tells us that we want to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education. So it means that there is exclusion. So if we have inclusion, it means we have exclusion. And what is the exclusion? Exclusion is leaving someone out. Simple. It drags us and draws attention to those people that are doing the excluding and the person that is being excluded. It talks about the existence of injustice, and it talks about denial of social rights like education and housing.
What most people in the world are doing is not actually distance learning. It's not e-learning. They are doing remote learning or remote teaching. They don't mean anything. Remote teaching is just somebody here, you carry your notebook, put it on the computer, and you are teaching. You must look at the pedagogical principles. You must look at the foundation, the psychological. And unfortunately, even in this country, there's a lack of understanding of the concept of online, open, and flexible education. Most people just think you gather students somewhere, they join by Zoom or whatever, and you start teaching. That is not distance education.
However, the philosophy of the University of Lagos Distance Learning Institute is premised on the belief that university education, which includes lifelong learning, should be accessible to all Nigerians and foreigners, irrespective of age, race, sex, religion, and any other circumstances, including employment.